Good morning and welcome to all of you. Thank you for being with us this morning. I'm Erin Carlson, Director of Communications for the Catholic Diocese of Saginaw. Again, we thank all of you who are here with us in person this morning. We also, here we go. We'll try that one more time. Thank you for being with us here this morning, and we're very grateful to have you all here with us today on this exciting and historic day in the life of our local church. We want to welcome those of you who are here in person and also all of you who are joining us online. Allow me to introduce to you now Bishop Walter Hurley, our Apostolic Administrator. Bishop Hurley.
Well, thank you very much and welcome. I'm delighted to be with you here today. I'm delighted to be with you here today, and especially for this wonderful announcement that we have to make. As you know, I came here the day or so after Bishop Stone had died, and I noticed about a week later there were prayers all over the diocese for a new bishop. And the significance of that was not lost on me either. But it is a special privilege to be here and to introduce our new bishop, Bishop Robert Gruss, who comes to us from the Diocese of Rapid City, which raises an interesting question. How does someone who was born in Texarkana, Arkansas, and served as the Bishop of Rapid City end up coming to Saginaw, Michigan? That's a mystery. But you know, there are different kinds of mysteries. There are sorrowful mysteries, and there are joyful mysteries, and this fits into the category of the joyful mystery of how he got here, and I want you to know how pleased I am that he is with us. As you know, over these past days, months, so we have had some considerable challenges to face in the diocese, and I think we've faced them with faith, and we faced them with courage and straightforwardness, and it's just a special joy to be able to be with you today to introduce Bishop Gruss, who has an extensive background in service, and I'm very confident that he will serve so very well here. He has served in so many roles in the church. He served as an associate pastor, as a pastor of parishes. He worked in the diocese as a chancellor of the diocese. He served on the staff of the North American College, and he's been a bishop here for about 8 years now, is it? 8 years. And it's just a great privilege to have him with us. For our meeting today, we're going to basically focus on welcoming our new bishop and any questions that may arise as a result of that. If there are questions on other topics that may be in the news these days, then we'll deal with those as a separate issue and at a separate time. But it's just a special joy for me to introduce to you the 7th Bishop of Saginaw, Bishop Robert Gruss. Welcome and thank you for being here.
Thank you, and good morning. Yeah, I don't know what to say, but good morning to everyone. And Bishop Hurley, thank you for those kind words. I have to say it is really great to be here. It's great to be with all of you. In some ways, it's hard to believe. You know, the mysteries of God. I think this is one of them. But you know, when the nuncio called me 3 weeks ago, so I've been carrying this for 3 weeks now. Thankfully, it's all out, so I don't have to worry anymore. And told me that Pope Francis had appointed me as the next Bishop of Saginaw. I realized once again how one phone call can totally change your life. But I want you to know I am happy and grateful to be here. I thank the Lord in many ways for calling me here, And I thank the Holy Father for entrusting all of you, the people of God, and this diocese to my care. I look forward to the opportunity of serving you, shepherding you, journeying together for many years to come. You know, I know for the past 7 years, or 7 months, you've been waiting for a more permanent leader. And as you've mourned the loss of Bishop Stone, I want you to accept my prayers and condolences in your great loss. It's difficult, I know. I thank you, Bishop Hurley, for coming out of retirement and for the great care that you've provided to the people of this diocese during these challenging and difficult times. But we all know the Lord does provide for his church. And so it is with deep humility and gratitude that I have accepted Pope Francis's appointment as the seventh bishop of the Diocese of Saginaw. And you know, while it all seems a bit overwhelming at the moment, this is not my most comfortable position, standing in front of a bunch of cameras. I'm deeply grateful for the opportunity to be here, to serve God and to serve the church here and the people of this diocese. It'll be a new adventure for me and perhaps a new challenge, but I enjoy challenges. They keep me humble, if you will. And the Lord is always, at least in my own experience as a priest and as a bishop, the Lord is always full of surprises, but he's also faithful to his promises. He's always faithful to his promises. And you know, this whole season of Easter, I think, is a celebration of those promises. And as we are all aware, the Holy Spirit continues to guide his church, and I believe that the Holy Spirit is here, present with us in a very particular way today. I've had the opportunity to go on your website a little bit. I haven't looked at it extensively just because of time and many things back in the Diocese of Rapid City, but I'm aware of your mission statement. And if you don't know what it is, I'll share that with you because I think it's important. It's true, not everybody, I could ask many people in the Diocese of Rapid City, what's our mission statement? And no one can answer that. So I don't think that's a unique situation. But it says, trusting in the Holy Spirit and nourished by the Eucharist, we, the faithful of the Diocese of Saginaw, are companions on the journey to share the love of Jesus Christ. Now, the Holy Spirit and the Eucharist have always been a very important focus for me throughout my 25 years of priesthood. I celebrate my 25th anniversary in July, and also over the past 8 years as a bishop. And so I think the Lord has me coming to the right place, knowing what our mission statement is. But there are always signs of the Lord's presence along the way, which I believe give us courage and support and affirm his desire for us. We all know in the Lord's mind there is no coincidence. So when I got up this morning and celebrated my daily Mass, the Gospel reading from St. John has a lot of meaning for me. And this is the first few lines of the Gospel this morning. This is my commandment. Love one another as I love you. No one has greater love than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. This last line, no greater love, happens to be my Episcopal motto. And so I do find it interesting that I come here to the Diocese of Saginaw for the very first time for this announcement as your bishop on the day when the gospel that is proclaimed happens to be my Episcopal motto. I take that as a great omen for me and hopefully for all of us. But more importantly, I think it's the Lord's confirmation of this new assignment. And there is no question that I will deeply miss the people and the land of Western South Dakota. The past 8 years there have been a tremendous blessing for me and filled with more graces than I can count. So I'm deeply grateful to the Lord for having allowed me to be their shepherd for the last 8 years as I began my Episcopal ministry. But it is with great hope and prayer here as I begin this new chapter in my life and ministry. I look forward to being your shepherd. I look forward to settling into my new home, getting to know all of you, and being able to carry on the mission of Jesus Christ here in the Diocese of Saginaw. So together, as our mission statement says, trusting in the Holy Spirit and nourished by the Eucharist, we will be companions on the journey together to share the love of Jesus Christ. So as we gather today and as the days going forward in this time of transition, know of my prayers for all of you, and I'm counting on your prayers as well. So may God continue to shower his blessings upon all of us. And so thank you, and God bless you.
Bishop, if you'd be willing to entertain a few questions.
Sure, I'd be happy to.
If you just say your name, please, and the news organization you're with.
Steve Carmody with Michigan Radio. Bishop, you're coming into a district that's had problems. Acknowledge by his eminence first that that there have been problems with reporting sexual abuse, problems ongoing with a priest recently convicted, others charged and accused this week. What did you learn in your previous posting that will inform you to how to better handle it than what your predecessor did?
Well, I'm one of, I believe in transparency and accountability. In my diocese, when I was a priest in Davenport, part of my job was dealing with cases of this. There's no place in the church for sexual abuse of minors or anyone else, and so my desire is that the church becomes holy in the way that Christ calls her to be, and those who abuse their power and authority will be held to accountability.
Is there anything you would implement that maybe hasn't been done in the church, in this diocese in the past, that would accelerate that punishment?
I don't know what's been done in the diocese here in the past, so I can't address that issue at this time.
Gary Camp from ABC 12 News. That sort of following on Steve's question, but can you go back to that when you got the call about Saginaw? What was going through your mind?
Do you really want to know?
That's why I asked the question.
That was funny. So we have a catechetical certification program in the Diocese of Rapid City, and I had taught two sections of that for a number of years, and I decided not to this year, but they wanted me to come back and do just to give an hour talk to some of the people that were participating in that, and I had started that, and I put my phone down on the shelf underneath under the podium, and as I began, the phone started vibrating, and it was really loud, and I told the people, I looked out and I said, I think God is calling me. Jokingly, but I said he can wait just a few minutes. And so I finished, the hour conference, and I went out to my car and looked at my phone, and I saw the caller ID was the nuncio. I think that was the first mistake, having the nuncio's number in my phone. But I called him back, and it was like, wow. When he said, they never come out and say it. There's a little bit of conversation before he really comes out and tells me what he was going to tell me, and I was actually shocked, really. I mean, I know bishops can't stay in a diocese forever, no matter how much you love the place, and I knew after almost 8 years, I would suspect in the next year or two I would be moving, but I didn't think it would be in the next 2 months. And so I was quite surprised. And Saginaw, to be honest, was not on my radar. In the sense I had really not thought about it, But it took a little while to sink in. From the very moment, there's been peace in my heart about it all. So I know it's the Lord. And, this the Lord gives us peace to accept, the challenges of ministry that He brings to us, and we continue to, in the best way we can, to try to be the living presence of Christ wherever He sends us. And we know, as bishops, more so, that we go where the Lord leads us, takes us, and so I'm happy to be here. Because I really, in my heart, I believe the Lord has called me here in a very particular way, and so that's why I'm filled with gratitude and joy right now, because of, yes, there's sadness for leaving behind, 8 years of not really leaving behind, but leaving behind a wonderful diocese. But there's every place I've been as a priest and as a bishop. I mean, the second place as a bishop has been filled with many graces and blessings. So I have no, I expect nothing else in here, so I look forward to it.
James Felton, WNEN TV5. What are your first impressions of Saginaw now that you're here, and can you see yourself being here for a long time? Because usually around here people don't like change, so they would like you to stay for a while. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, my first impression of Saginaw is I'm not sure, because I got in yesterday afternoon about 4 o'clock, and I came to the bishop's house and I haven't left. So I really haven't seen much of it. Hopefully this afternoon and tomorrow, and the time allotted here, that I will get out and about a little bit. So I don't know a whole lot about the diocese, to be honest, but it's, I have 12 years to retirement. I would love just to stay in one place. I found it takes a little while to kind of really get settled in and really develop a vision for the church and whatever the diocese is, and then to implement that vision. And it can't be done. I'm leaving a lot of things undone. I'm back in Rapid City, so and I've been there 8 years. So it takes a while, and so I'll be here joyfully as long as the Lord wants me here. And if He decides I need to go somewhere else, then so be it. But I'm going to enjoy every moment here.
Heather Jordan with MLive in the Saginaw News. As the new bishop, what will be your top priorities?
Oh, that's a really hard question, because it's not one I can really answer, because I don't know until I get here and really settle in and see what's been going on, what the current priorities are. I don't know. I mean, it takes a while for a bishop to come in and kind of really learn the diocese and learn the needs. What are the needs of the diocese? I don't know what those are.
And as a new member of the community and a prominent member of the community, what should people know about you? What would you like people to know?
That's a great question. I love the church. I love the Lord. First and foremost, I love being with people. Even though I'm an introvert, but I love, for some reason, I just enjoy being with people. I have a lot of interesting hobbies that most bishops would not embrace or do. I like to hunt and fish. I ride Harleys. I have a Harley, so I can't wait to explore Michigan on my Harley. I like, I love riding horses. I'm a cowboy at heart, I think. I love the outdoors. I like cooking. I like, I have a lot of interests, but coming from South Dakota, the 8 years in South Dakota have given me the opportunity to really embrace all of those things, hunting, fishing, horseback riding, Harley riding, hiking, all sorts of things. So I love the outdoors. So I hear the outdoors up here are very beautiful. So I look forward to exploring that.
Michael Percha with WSGW News here in Saginaw. You have a background in commercial aviation, commercial pilots, and a flight instructor. What was the transition like going from that type of career into becoming a member of the clergy?
Like night and day. It was, I don't know how to say this briefly. At one point in time, when I began to really embrace my Catholic faith in a real way, and claim it for my own, and then the Lord sent me on this journey. At the time, I was a corporate pilot, so I wasn't flying for airlines. I was flying for a private corporation. And it was during that time, as I got more involved in my faith, as a single person, the Lord began to move me into the direction of priesthood. And so I decided, my deepest desire was to do the will of God, whatever that is. And so I began to pray, Lord, what is your will for me? Is it marriage and this flying job, or is it the priesthood? And I couldn't get the priesthood out of my mind. And so I decided that, in short, it's a long story, but in short was that I'm not going to go through the rest of my life wondering if God is calling me to the priesthood. I'm going to find out now. So the only way to do that would be to quit my flying job, break up with my girlfriend, go into the seminary, and see if this is what the Lord wants for me. That's what I did, and by the grace and the mystery of God, I'm standing before you today. It's amazing. It's amazing.
That's a sign.
We have no other questions. Thank you very much, Bishop.
Great. Thank you for your warm welcome. It's great to be here. God bless all of you.
And my hope for Bishop Gruss is that his time here will be as joyful and as fulfilling and satisfying as the short time that I have been here as well. The installation is planned for July 26th, and we'll look forward to that, and you'll be receiving more information about that. In the meantime, I'll continue to serve here as best I can until the new bishop arrives, and it's a great privilege to be able to do so. I'd also like today, too, to invite all of you for lunch that's been prepared, and to visit with the bishop and to spend some time together. So thank you very much. Erin, did you want to add anything to our...
I,
Let me...